When I was a junior in high school, I had a bit of a health scare. Up to that point, I had been involved with football for 4 years, going on 5, if you want to get technical. I never suffered any injuries of any sort while playing ball. In fact, the only major injury, which is a minor one in actuality, the only one I've ever had was in the 5th grade. I was playing a game of dodgeball, and my cousin threw a ball at me in the weirdest way possible, and it came across my hand and contorted my left ring finger all the way to my forearm, thus breaking it. And even then, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't even know it was broken till the doctor said so. Whatever hurt I may have sustained during any time in my life, I quickly brushed it off and went back to business. The summer of 2010 was a big summer for me. Although I was dealing with my first breakup, I was out running and exercising almost every day. All in all, from freshman year to that point, I lost 80 pounds. I'd gotten much more faster and overall much more athletic. I was so ready to contend for a starting spot on defense or offense, it didn't really matter to me. Everything seemed to be in our team's favor. New coach, a solid group of student athletes. We were going to be a part of the best team Gibson County had ever seen. And I was excited to be able to contribute to that cause. For the first time in my football career, I was going to go through 2-a-days. A 4-hour session in the morning, a 4-hour session at night. All in all, 8 hours of ball. I was a little reluctant, but pretty excited. But then again, I think every boy who plays ball gets that feeling of being completely scared of the brutal physical pain they're about to endure, and at the same time they're bursting at the seams to be able to go through it. That's exactly how I felt going into it. Like I said, I dropped 80 pounds and brought on a physical presence about myself that was virtually non-existent prior to that point. I was getting through drills and sprints much, much faster than I had ever before, and in the process not finishing dead last. Although I can't really say I ever finished dead last because we had some pretty big guys on the team, so I was kind of 5th to last. I was busting my captain's quarters and everything I did just so I could garner the attention of the coaches. It was when I filled in for the first string nose tackle during defensive drills that I got this unusual feeling. I got lightheaded and I felt like I was going to pass out. Seems like a typical "I'm tired" excuse, but this isn't anything I wanted. I was getting at it, and I said, man, I'm going to get that starting spot. But it wasn't something I could explain. I asked if I could get a sub in, if I could get a breather, because the longer I went on with the drill, the worse I felt. They granted it to me, and I got the trainer to check me out. I had no idea what was going on with me. All I knew is that it wasn't good. She eventually didn't know what was up herself. She advised me just to take precautions driving home. It was about 45 minutes after my weird spell that I decided to go home and chill out. Of course, practice was over, and the coach and the trainer and doctor kept checking in on me, saying, "Are you good? Are you good to go? What's up?" And so I was like, okay, I gotta make it home and lay down. I took a nap, and I still didn't feel any different. But then I got to the field house that evening, and the trainer checked up on me, and I had to be genuine about how I was feeling. As much as I hated that I was missing the sprints that night, because honestly, it became what I loved to do, I decided to sit out that night. Of course, I got plenty of flack for missing practice. That's just how it was, especially for someone like me, meaning I wasn't a locker room favorite. They told me to go get blood tests the next morning and to come to practice that night if I could, in regards to the next day. I went and got blood tests done, but in all honesty, I started feeling much better. I knew I could go to practice, so I did. On my way to practice, my mom drove me there, and we stopped by a gas station on the way. and just to get me some Gatorade and water. And all the while I'm prepping for this wave of football practice, it occurred to me, isn't all this a little silly? Isn't it just a little crazy that I'm going through all this just for high school football? I told my mom that, and she said, well, it may just be high school football, but I'm not going to let you dehydrate regardless. You know how moms are. And it's kind of taboo to voice that kind of opinion here in the South. And I didn't in high school because I couldn't really see past the angle pursuit drills. But now it kills me. I constantly see slogans saying, football is life. Eat, breathe, sleep, football. Why? How in the world is football life? I have one simple answer to that. It's not. Football is not life. Now you may be saying, oh, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to make it to the next level. I'm going to be the next Peyton. I'm going to be the next Tom Brady. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, sure. We're all entitled to our opinion. So I'm voicing mine. But hear me out. As much as I love ball, there was always a part of me that knew it was just something you just shouldn't take fully seriously. And here's what I mean by that. Number one, it's a game. Especially in regards to high school football. Now, your coaches will tell you, this is your full-time job. This is like... I even had a coach one year. I went through so many coaches. He said, we're going to get a time clock and you're going to punch in when you lift weights. That's a unique idea. But do coaches really want you to consider this as... Do coaches really want you to consider high school football as your full-time job? Of course they do. It goes with their full-time job as a coach. You, on the other hand, are not getting paid, student athlete. Now, looking back on it, football did seem like a full-time job. Granted, the hours are very short shifts. Now that I do work full-time in the real world. But here's the thing about football. It's a game. And it should be taken as a game. And if you miss out on that, especially during your youth and your adolescence, you're going to miss out on something special. The best moments I ever had playing football were not 9th through 12th grade. Oh no, my friend. My best memories of football were 7th and 8th grade, when it was just a game. I didn't know the first thing about football. I just knew we got to get to their end zone and they're going to try and come in ours. But the cool thing is, in middle school, 7th grade, we went 4-3. In 8th grade, we went 5-1. And we had such few amount of plays. And all I needed to know was get the guy in front of you. We got to run him back and we're going to use him. We're not really about that, the passing game. But I had so much fun playing ball in middle school. The drills were old school and all that. And I could go on telling you about what made middle school football fun. But that's not really the point. The point is I had fun. And that's a purpose of a game. 9th through 12th grade, I got playbooks. I had conditioning camps. I had all sorts of commitments I had to bring to fruition, which are not outrageous, and it's to be expected that I make these, committing to the team. But it's a game. If I'm going to commit to football, that means I'm going to show up and I'm going to hone my skills and do the best I can, all the while having fun. Is life about having fun? Sure, sometimes we have fun. But what else is life about? I can only answer that with one example, and that is Jesus having a conversation with the Samaritan woman at the well. For those of you who don't know the story, let me put it like this. Jesus was a Jew conversating with a Samaritan, woman, huge no. And Jesus said, I will give you the life-giving drink. You can read. I urge you to read more into that story. I'm going to have that passage of scripture in the description. But what is life? Oh, well, it's what we're doing day to day. We get up, we work, and we do it all again the next day. That's not life. You can have many definitions of consciousness, but there is only one definition of life. The book of John reads, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Jesus is life, my friends. There is no other way. So student athletes, I urge you to have fun. I urge you to take it easy and enjoy what you got going on right now. Whether you go to the pros, whether you don't. Have fun with what you're doing right now. Because football is only a game. 4 quarters will end, and it won't last forever. Jesus lasts forever.